should the Ottawa Senators try and acquire Connor Hellebuyck. He played the most games in the NHL, tied for the most, I think, with 64. I think he played this year. He's played the most since he's been in the league. 445 games played, 436 starts. He's done a lot of work as goaltender. He's got some pretty good numbers. Do you go after him to solve your goaltending needs?
I mean, it's enticing for sure, right? Like, obviously the miles on the body would be concerning at 29, because he's got 1 year left before he's a UFA, and then he's going to get to punch his own ticket. But for me, yeah, I would. I don't see why you wouldn't test the waters, because you don't know where is it Cheveldayoff there? The GM?
Yes.
Yeah. You don't know where his head's at right now. He's probably looking at his roster thinking, where am I going to, what's the first domino to fall? I don't think it's your goaltender, because he's a pretty damn good goalie, and it felt like he was hung out to dry a little bit at times this year. So I'm thinking that he's probably looking at his goaltending situation saying, I'm pretty happy with this. Connor's been a very good goalie for us. And when you ride it out and then you try to extend him, whether he wants that or not, because you're probably going to take a major regression next year if that team changes, right? So I don't see any. I would be picking up the phone. I would absolutely be picking up the phone, trying to just get a temperature for where he's at. But I don't think he's ripe for the picking at the moment either. He's got to sit back and understand what his roster is going to look like.
Yeah, it's
okay. 1 sec, Yorkie. He's got 1 year left, right? And he makes $6.166 million. My point, and then he's a UFA.
Yeah.
If he says he's not going to sign in Winnipeg, you got to look to move him. Is my point, and that's I guess what I'm trying to get at. If he may control being there or not, and that's all.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to trade him.
No,
maybe you're going after Laurent Boisson. How do you say his name? The backup, the old backup for Winnipeg just went head to head with Hellebuyck and beat him. Like, that's how crazy the goaltending position is. You're a god today, a goat tomorrow, and look no further than the Boston Bruins series. Vezina Trophy goaltender that had a season for the ages just shit the bed in the first round. So it's like you think you have something and all of a sudden you don't. Like, they couldn't trust this guy who's going to win the Vezina so much or so bad that they, in game 7, they didn't play him. Probably should have done it sooner, but man, that's the toughest thing to do as a general manager, your hockey ops department. Identify a goaltender and just look how many times Ottawa's screwed it up. Right. And they're not alone. They're not alone. Every team. No. It's like you gotta be lucky. You gotta be lucky, because goaltending, I can't explain it. These guys can get hot. They can get cold. On paper for sure. I love Hellebuyck, but I don't know. He wasn't great in the first round. It wasn't his fault they lost. But isn't that what goaltenders that make over $6 million do? They steal a series for you. So it's I would be more inclined to go after a younger goaltender that's got a ton of upside, that's shown some flashes that can grow with my core. Okay. That's probably what I would do, Wally.
Okay, then stand by. You speak, I deliver. So
nice.
I will say LA has goaltending issues. They're a mess to me. And so they've got Cal Peterson, who they thought was going to be their starter. He signed for 2 more years at $5 million. He was waived in the NHL this year and has spent the last 3 months in the AHL. So that's a contract they don't really want to have around. I'm not saying get him. I'm just telling you what they've got going on here. Then they go out and get Jonas Korpisalo because they needed a goaltender. He's UFA. He only makes 1.3. Does he fit alongside Anton Forsberg for you as a goaltending tandem? Maybe. That's not a bad idea. He's not very expensive. And they've got Phoenix Copley, who's he's emerged as their star. I don't think they'll move him. He went 24, 6, and 3, and he'll make 1.5 this year, and then he's in a UFA the following season. But I think LA is a possibility of finding out if they can pick up Korpisalo, perhaps. That's one area. There's another goal leak. I'm going to bring this up, and please don't yell at me, but I know you will. Ilya Sorokin. See, But
I like
listen,
him.
again, he's a great goalie. He's 24.
Yeah.
Next year, he's going to be a UFA, or the following season. So he's got 1 year left on his deal. If he does, my point is, if he doesn't want to sign, we're now seeing guys not moved in their UFA year. They're moved the year before because there's more left for it. So, like, I would give up everything to try and bring in Ilya Sorokin from the New York Islanders. And if not him, I know you didn't laugh, Bobby. I appreciate it. If not him, then perhaps Jeremy Swayman in Boston, which
Wally,
is it
give me
right? Okay, he's
who told you that
RFA
one?
though. He's RFA, so that becomes a bit of an issue. But I would offer, would you offer Jeremy Swayman, Yorkie?
Would I offer sheet him?
Yeah.
I would try and make some kind of deal with Boston. I think they're going to be in a position right now with Cam Neely where he's going to have to do something to appease the Boston mob right now because they want heads. They want heads on a platter. I don't think they're going to fire Jim Montgomery. I don't think they're going to change the staff. They're probably not going to have Bergeron back. They're probably not going to have Krejci back. But what are they going to do there? Are they going to get rid of Allmark after that season? So, man, this is a guy I would love to have in my organization, young goaltender. And I loved how he came in. Besides the first goal of that game, the 5-hole one, the backhander, I thought he was excellent. I thought Florida had a ton of 10-bell chances, and he kept Boston in the game when it mattered, made some huge saves. Looks like he has a ton of moxie. I think he grew up in Alaska. Like he's from a remote place where not a lot of goaltenders are developed. Went to Maine University. So I like him. I like him. And while you're at it, get me Jake DeBrincat out of there too, man. A lot of speed.
Right?
Love how I don't know, Bob. I'm a big Jake DeBrincat fan, man. Lots of speed. Plays the game hard. How good would he look on your second line? Perfect NHL second line player that can score.
Yeah. Going back to the goaltending part of it, I like Swayman a lot because for me, if I'm Ottawa, I don't want guys coming in at 29 and 30 that are stopgaps. It's about finding the goalie that is going to be the goaltender of the future that you think will take you into the next phase, which is competing in the playoffs. He obviously held himself I agree on the goal, but he held himself in very, very well in that game. He's a great target, but I don't know, because why would you break that tandem up there? You find a way to keep both those goaltenders if you're Boston, because they're very, very good and they get along, and you don't mess with that when you have that in a room, I don't think. But I would love to see him. I would love to see him in a Sens uniform. You just got to find a way to get it done. And he can grow with your guys. That's the most important part. He's 24 and he can grow with your guys. That's what you need.